Hello, it's Mimi here. I'd like to talk about cryptocurrencies. Quite honestly, I haven't really looked into it until a month ago. I know people talked about Bitcoin for a while, but however, I never really took the time, even though I am an IT specialist. But it doesn't really matter because I am an IT specialist and it's going to take me less time compared to you guys to understand what it is all about, what is blockchain, what is other things, those type of things. But I think around a month ago, around December, before it actually really hit up really high in value, before the 17,000 dollars per coin. What I actually did was already bought a bunch of hardware for mining. So I got around 9 graphic cards, GPUs in short, to mine a little bit. I want to get some Zcash, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, I guess, as well. Because I just want to have more different types of cash, and I kind of don't want to pay for it with the transactional fees. So I just kind of blindly just did that on my own. And obviously I have a friend for support. He was an IT guy, like a real tech IT guy. So he did the hardware stuff. So that was something that was really wicked, and he's really good at. And I just needed sometimes hints. I don't need like him to actually do it for me, So I can figure some of the stuff out. So basically, after a month, maybe a little bit less than a month, around a couple of weeks, I get the things running pretty decently. It's doing it by itself. A lot of trial and error. It's a lot worse than I thought. I thought it's gonna be I just press a button and start hashing by itself. And it doesn't. There are actually a lot of setups, and it's a little bit annoying, quite honestly. And I would prefer to not do it if I don't have to, but I'm doing it now. It's okay. So, okay, let's go to then the fact that how I feel about cryptocurrencies today. I'm still gonna keep it. But unfortunately, I think that most of the guys that are in it at this moment don't really understand what it really is. And they're just kind of following the news, what's out there. They're thinking that, oh, Verge is awesome, so they're going to buy a lot of Verge. And Tron is awesome, they're going to buy a lot of Tron. Litecoin is great because it's kind of popular. And that's the thing. I think a lot of these coins are going to be relegated. Because of why? Because nobody really going to be using it for its functionality. You have to remember what Bitcoin is about. Bitcoin is a little bit different from the other alternative currencies. Okay, so the alternative currencies sometimes actually have a theme. For example, there are ones that is about social media, so you actually could use those coins in social media. There are some coins that you use for movie businesses, those type of things. So the definition has to be clear, and actually how they use it for which industries, and how it is beneficial, and how to do the multi-layering technology as well. So a lot of people actually just randomly hire these PhDs from MIT and Harvard. Of course, those guys are laughing all the way to the banks because they're getting paid big bucks just to write some papers. But in the fact that I'm pretty sure that a lot of these quote-unquote PhDs don't necessarily know that much about cryptos either. So nowadays it's just an overblown concept. Right now it's more of a concept than a real something that is actually working at the moment. There's something that is working for sure. That you could buy things in Bitcoin. Okay, so that in itself for the long run is actually a lot better. But the smaller alternative cryptocurrencies are going to be still in the test because companies and people gotta start using it, and they gotta put that into action. So just because you're mining Zcash doesn't mean that you know how Zcash is going to work really in real life. The most optimal situation for any cryptocurrencies, quite honestly, is actually not to use any real currencies. So never actually use it again in those things. For example, if I'm actually in the movie industries, okay, so I would be paying all my employees and all my the places that I rent in, I think it's Tron that actually does that. Tron actually can do that, right? So Tron, we use all of that, okay? So this whole industry, we use Tron, for example. I'm just giving an example. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. And then we should never have to convert that into real cash. And that is actually how the application would actually work. So if you're trying to always convert that into American cash or into pounds or euros, it's not a real concept. The concept hasn't worked. So the people that are doing the speculation, they're putting a lot of money in, and then it goes up like a lot in value, and then suddenly it drops back down again. That is actually not right. Because why? Because they just should be regular currencies. They shouldn't go up and down a lot. You know what I'm saying? They should have a regular demand. Like the regular FX today. The how much you actually go up and down per day is actually very much of a fraction of a percent. So it should be actually like that. So what is going on right now is actually not normal, and a lot of people actually are into the cryptos and not exercising what it's supposed to be meant for. So they are just kind of speculators or trying to make quick buck, things like that. That's actually what the scene is about. But however, what I think really should be awesome in the future, not the near future, because the near future, a lot of the governments are going to be shutting down cryptocurrencies. Why? It's because it's bypassing their economic system, and it's bypassing their laws, their control, things like that. Well, some governments don't like it more than others. For example, Japan loves it, and they're doing it, and they think they're probably going to profit from it, in which I think 110% for sure that Japan is probably going to do very well in Asia, because they realize they have lost the competitive edge in electronics. They have lost the competitive edge in some other stuff as well. But now they're doing cryptocurrencies. That is the right move for them. I am 110% for Japan that is actually making that move. But however, in other parts of Asia, I'm not going to mention the names. They're going to be cracking down on it because they feel like it's not going to be fully controlling it. But in my vision of cryptocurrencies are that nobody needs to convert that back into cash anymore. Everybody could actually just do coins in exchange. Okay, so in a way that it is, in a way, kind of bartering a little bit, but we actually electronic bartering. So there will be a real value of how much your industry is really worth. For example, if you're in the food industry, then the coin would go up in value. Like, let's say, for example, everybody's getting fat, everybody wants to eat more, then it should go up higher in prices. So let's say everybody wants to watch movies, then it should go up, and people are actually giving less incentive. Like, let's say people don't want to watch as much Netflix, they don't want to watch the shows because the shows sucked. The shows sucked, then all these the movie valuation, the valuation for the coins in the entertainment industry then should drop. Okay, so these are the things that I kind of want to look at, and that's what they should be. That's how it should work, So what it is working right now, it's actually not functioning of what they should be doing, but rather like now it's a speculation heaven for some people, because I see a lot of the changes in the cryptocurrencies. They occur, let's say 10% change can be done in less than 2 to 5 minutes of span. 10% change of the value. So that is actually really, really crazy, you know. And we don't want that, you know. We want something that is a little bit more stable. And I think it's going to land a little bit eventually. That's how it is being traded, how the exchange are going to be set up. BitConnect just died. So without me even like really fully acknowledging what really is, and BitConnect died already, and the coins all just went, you know, lost all its value, like 90% of it. And that's crazy, you know what I'm saying? That's not a safe place to put money in. I think, you know, I think one of my friends asked me to say, open up a portfolio management for coins. And for me, I guess it's okay to manage like Litecoin or Bitcoin, and also Ripple. These are the more solid coins that I thought they're a little bit better. Or Ethereum. Definitely Ethereum and Ripple and Bitcoin would be the top choices. Other ones are just like, you know, I'm not 100% sure of how it worked out. Like, have they put it to the test? It's more of like the concepts right now. But for my direction is I'm gonna start my own ICO as well. Even though that I know a lot of people are in it, but I think the most important is the motive. My motive is actually to make a coin that actually works, and people will use it, and they don't have to always want to convert that into cash. And even if my company or the association that I'm with no longer exists, those coins will still worth value. That's the most important thing. It keeps on going. So how am I gonna do that? Well, it's pretty simple. Start brainstorming. Start looking for what people actually need, and design a real application instead of trying to make a quick buck. I think that's what happened a lot. A lot of the Hong Kong people actually made a couple of coins, but I think they are more into the quick buck type of thing. For me, I'm an exception of the Hong Kong person. I'm for the long run. So I'm gonna get into the works today. We'll see how things go. Well, it's good talking to you. See you later.